You see a dog across the street and your hand moves before your brain does. A cat jumps on your lap and something in your chest loosens. A baby reaches out and grabs your finger and you freeze, completely disarmed. You walk past a golden retriever on a leash and every serious thought you were carrying disappears in an instant. It is involuntary. It is overwhelming. And you have almost certainly never stopped to ask why. Because this is not a personality quirk. This is not something only animal lovers do. This is one of the oldest programs running inside your nervous system, coded into your biology hundreds of thousands of years before language, before cities, before anything you would recognize as civilization. The urge to reach out and touch a small, soft, living creature is not cute. It is ancient, and it tells you something strange and important about what you actually are. So where does it start? It starts with cuteness. But not cuteness the way you usually think about it. In 1943, an Austrian zoologist named Konrad Lorenz noticed something odd. He noticed that baby animals across dozens of unrelated species all shared the same physical features. Big heads relative to their bodies, large low-set eyes, small noses, round cheeks, soft undefined features. He called this cluster of traits Schema, which translates roughly as baby schema. And his observation was these features are not just adorable. They are a biological trigger. They switch something on in the brain of any animal that sees them. Lorenz proposed that this was a survival mechanism. Babies are helpless. They cannot feed themselves, protect themselves, or regulate their own temperature. The only way they survive is if adults take care of them. And so evolution built a detection system into caregiving brains that fires the moment they see baby features. It floods those brains with the urge to approach, protect, and touch. The feeling you get when you see a puppy is that system activating. You are not just admiring something cute. You are being recruited into a care response that predates your species. But here is where it gets stranger. Lorenz noticed that the same features that triggered care responses in humans toward human babies also triggered care responses toward baby animals. And then he noticed something else. Adult animals with baby-like features triggered the same response. Big eyes, small nose, round face. It did not matter that the creature was fully grown. The brain fired anyway. The system is not checking for infants specifically. It is checking for the feature set, and when it detects it, it responds. This means that when you look at a dog, your brain is partially running a program designed for caring for your own offspring. The same neural machinery, the same ancient circuitry, just pointed at a different object. In 2009, researchers Morten Kringelbach and Alan Stein ran brain imaging studies while showing people images of babies and adults. What they found was that the baby images produced a rapid burst of activity in a region called the medial orbitofrontal cortex, a brain area associated with reward and positive emotion, within a fraction of a second of viewing. The adult images did not produce this effect at the same speed or intensity. The brain was not just finding babies pleasant. It was prioritizing them instantly, automatically, in a way the conscious mind had no say over. And when researchers repeated similar experiments using animal images with baby-like features, the same region lit up. You are not choosing to want to pet things. Your brain is choosing for you. Now add another layer to this. Humans are not just visually wired for this response. They are physically wired for it. Touch is the first sense you develop in the womb. Before you can see, hear, or smell, you can feel. And touch never loses that primal importance. When skin contacts another living thing, your body releases oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin drops stress hormones. It slows the heart rate. It creates a feeling that can only be described as safety, as connection, as being exactly where you are supposed to be. Researcher Matthew Hertenstein at DePaul University spent years studying human touch and found something remarkable. Touch communicates distinct emotions more reliably than we consciously realize. Fear, gratitude, love, disgust. These emotions can be transmitted through touch between strangers with startling accuracy. Touch is not just sensation. Touch is a language, and it is a language your body starts speaking before you are born. When you reach out and pet an animal, you are completing a circuit. The visual system detects baby-like features and activates reward pathways. The motor system reaches the hand out before you consciously decide to. The touch releases oxytocin. The stress system's quiet, and for a few seconds, you are not a person with problems or deadlines or worries. You are just a mammal, in contact with another mammal, and the ancient parts of your brain register something it has been seeking since before you had words for it. Safety, warmth, connection. But there is something deeper still. Humans are social animals. Not social the way wolves are social, or the way crows are social. Radically social. Dependent on connection to the point where isolation does not just feel bad, it physically damages the body. John Cacioppo, a neuroscientist at the University of Chicago, spent decades studying loneliness and found that chronic social isolation raises stress hormone levels, disrupts sleep, impairs immune function, and accelerates cognitive decline. Your body treats loneliness the way it treats physical pain. Because for most of your evolutionary history, being separated from your group was not an emotional state. It was a death sentence. And so your nervous system is always scanning, always looking for signals of connection, always looking for evidence that you are not alone. An animal with large eyes and a soft face and warm skin sends those signals directly into your oldest neural pathways. It does not require language. It does not require trust built over time. It bypasses everything and goes straight to the part of your brain that simply says another living thing. Not a threat. Close. Warm. That is why it feels so good. That is why you cross the street to pet a stranger's dog. That is why you feel inexplicably better after sitting with a cat on your lap. That is why animal-assisted therapy works. Not because animals are trained to comfort us. Because your brain was built to find comfort in them. There is also this. You live in a world that is, for most of its waking hours, abstract. You deal in screambles, words and messages, emails, notifications, social media feeds. The brain handling all of this was not built for abstraction at scale. It was built for a world where almost everything you encountered was physical, tangible, and alive. And that brain still prefers the physical and alive. When you reach out and touch something warm and breathing, you are giving that ancient brain exactly what it was designed to process. Something real, something present, something that responds. No inbox does that, no notification does that, but a dog leaning into your hand, that does it. There is one more piece. Researcher Hal Herzog at Western Carolina University has spent years studying the relationship between humans and animals and found something that challenges easy explanations. The relationship is not simply about stress relief or loneliness reduction, though it includes both. It is about something more fundamental. Humans appear to have a baseline need for cross-species connection, not as a luxury, but as a feature of normal psychological functioning. Cultures that have no pets still have relationships with animals. Hunters name the animals they pursue. Farmers mourn animals they have raised. Something in the human mind reaches toward other species not just because they are useful, but because reaching toward life is what the mind does. It has been doing it for a very long time. The oldest confirmed evidence of humans keeping wolves, the ancestors of dogs, as companions dates to at least 15,000 years ago. Some researchers believe it began much earlier, and what drove it was not utility alone. It was the same thing that drives you to reach your hand out toward a dog on a leash on an ordinary Thursday afternoon. Recognition, some wordless signal that passes between species that says you are alive. So am I. We are here together. So the next time your hand moves before your brain does, toward a dog, toward a cat, toward any small, soft, living thing, you now know what is actually happening. Your nervous system is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is responding to life with the oldest gesture in your biology. It is reaching out to confirm, for a moment, that you are not alone. You never were. Not really. Not for the whole long history of what you are. Tonight, when you reach out and touch something living without thinking, now you know. That reflex is 300,000 years old. And it is one of the most honest things you will do all day.